Anime Gypsy here with One Piece Chapter 873 review Trapped Like Sweets in a Cake. Now, a lot of stuff happened this chapter, and we'll just begin with the cover page. And in the cover page, we see Bartolomeo finding out that the city that he was harassing was under the protection of red-haired Shanks. Now, this could actually open a confrontation between Shanks and Bartolomeo, where they just talk about Luffy not Shanks, but Bartolomeo fanboy his ass off in front of Shanks. And, Shanks will just be impressed at how much Luffy's improved since he was a little kid that stabbed himself under the eye so he could impress him. Well, that aside, let's get into the meat of the chapter. Now, in the beginning, we have Tamago, Oven. Tamago, he is the person that instigates this, asking what happened. Tamago, Oven, Montur, and Tamago, Oven, Montur, and Compate, the first daughter. They're all talking about what just happened and are trying to figure stuff out, especially with the explosion that we know is the Tamate Bako. And in the background, you see people saving other people from the debris of the falling cake. And basically, what ends up happening is during that conversation that group was having, they are later joined by Daifuku, Katakuri, and Burle. And basically, from that point, they start talking about strategy and squads and what they're going to do. And from that exchange, from those two exchanges, we get two things that are new. One of them is we get to see the first dialogue from Compate, so we get our first look at her persona, and that's nice. She seems like a reasonable daughter that, just thinks rationally. Nothing out of the ordinary with her. And the other thing we get to find out is that Daifuku seems to be a natural born leader, because in the last chapter he was put in charge of squadrons, and now he's reporting on the progress of the squads and how they're doing. And he's basically on top of his shit. That being said, right after that exchange, you have Katakuri talking about how that priority number one to him is eliminating Luffy, because he believes that Luffy could potentially become a massive threat to Big Mom, and that's hyped right there, because he's not thinking of Jinbei, he's not thinking of Capone, he's thinking of Luffy, and that's nice. It shows how unique that character is and how he's able to impress people and how people see potential in Luffy. Now, actually, no, let me go back. Before that happened, Peckham's just shows out of nowhere, and he reports that the fishermen pirates dipped. And honestly, it's odd that they didn't just kill Peckham's right there, because how would they know that Peckham's is loyal? He could be, like, honestly, I would have, no. Like, the Big Mom pirates have been portrayed to being cold-hearted and not so forgiving. So it doesn't make sense that they would just let Peckham's go after they know that Peckham's betrayed them. To me, it doesn't make sense. But I think it's necessary for the plot's progression. That being said, after that incident, we get to see Big Mom rush through the town and basically wreak havoc because she's on her tantrum, and what she wants is a wedding cake. Now, there's a lot of theories going out there that Sanji will be the person that will satisfy Big Mom's hunger, her gluttonous appetite. Uh, honestly, I think it's going to be a combination of Sanji, Pudding, possibly Chiffon too. Well, the Chiffon thing I added because I just read the chapter, but beforehand I thought it was going to be a combination of Sanji and Pudding. I don't see Pudding leaving with the Straw Hats. I think Pudding will stay with the Big Mom Pirates. Some people still cling to that. I honestly don't. For me, it's Carrot all the way for New Nakama along with Jinbei. Just letting that be known. That aside, next we have Perospero, or as I like to call him, Pedo Sparrow. Try and use his wits to outsmart Big Mom. He's just conniving, and he figured that, hey, if I'm able to steer Big Mom towards the Straw Hats, I will let the town suffer less, but at the same time get rid of Mukiwara, and that backfires because Big Mom just straight to his face says that if he's lying, she'll just end his life, and then she jumps on Zeus and just blitzes all the way to the Straw Hats, and on the way there, we get to see King Balm, and he's surprisingly still alive. Now we get an introduction to a character that we don't get a name to, I don't think, who is basically King Balm's lover, and she's sewing him back together so that he could be reanimated and still alive. And then after that, we see Nami trick King Balm into thinking that he still has a Weaver card of Big Mom, and basically now they're riding King Balm, and later, and just I think a page later, we see Big Mom coming in hot pursuit of King Balm and Straw Hats, right up there, and she basically she uses Napoleon for the first time, which is nice. And that's where the chapter ends. We see Big Mom right behind the Straw Hats, ready to attack. Now, in terms of characterization, this chapter, we have a lot of characterization. Well, it's not necessarily individual characterization. We get to see a family atmosphere that isn't cold. Some people got the impression from previous chapters that the Charlotte family had a very cold family atmosphere, whereas basically you do your job, and if you don't, we just don't care about you. And we just don't see that this chapter, because you have Montor worried about Smoothie, legitimately, and I think kind of mourning Oprah's death, because Oprah died when Big Mom was doing the whole rampage. And I actually thought Oprah left the island way back when, right after he was talking about escaping because he failed to guard the prison book thing, the prisoner's library, whatever. I actually thought Oprah ran away, but apparently he didn't. And for some reason he tried to get in Big Mom's way, possibly to save Smoothie. And if that's the case, it just shows how warm-hearted they are towards their own kindred, even though they'd be willing to kill them if Big Mom gave the order. Well, aside from that, we have... Well, we don't get that much characterization besides that. The pacing was nice. Overall, I'd give this chapter a 3.5 out of 5, and that pretty much sums up my review. Peace. I'm out. I'll see you guys later. Oh, if you like my content, please subscribe. If you like what I had to say, give it a like. If you have anything you disagree with, please comment or leave a dislike. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Anime Gypsy out.